secured work at the Port of Los Angeles as a forklift driver. Most of my military...
We're going to play Guess the Answer. My back is killing me. I was playing this earlier and it was kind of cool. So we'll see. We'll see if you guys like this. I think it's fun.
72 hours. It started on Saturday as a dull ache. I thought that I had hurt myself somehow. I don't remember taking a tumble, but I must have at some point. I even considered other factors.
Okay, let's play the dumb game.
Rogue spring in my mattress.
Hello, everybody. We gotta beat Goku?
Since college. They're expensive to replace, you know. But I got up in the middle of the night, and I flipped it over hoping that would help. I threw my sheets down on top because I was too lazy to replace them. And I figured I would get to it in the morning. Well, morning came, and the pain was even worse. I could not get out of bed. It radiated down to my legs and made my knees quiver. Whenever I rolled onto my side, the pain sent another jab into my hips like the tip of a knife, plunging into the tender meat and grinding down to the bone.
I'm killing it, bro.
I'm not sure what I did to deserve this.
Hey, what's up, Tamara?
It hurts like nothing I have ever felt.
What can I do at a party where I don't know anybody? I missed one. What is it? Eating. I could have sworn I had said that.
My spine was being compressed and grinding against one another. I could almost hear the calcium squealing over the crackling cartilage, and then, of course, there was one. I fell back to my
Name a place in America to go at least once on a vacation.
Inward enough to pull my limp legs back up onto the side of the bed. There was no one that I could call. I did not have family nearby or any friends who could make a quick trip to usher me to the hospital. I live a good 30 minutes outside of town, and it's about 40 to the nearest hospital. For anyone, that's a hefty round trip. Not to mention my lack of insurance, and the fact that there is no way to predict how long an ER trip could feasibly take. I thought about taking a hot bath to soothe my aches, but I knew that even if I could get down and crawl my way to the bathroom, I would probably not.
What's the last answer? Florida, nobody's going to Florida, bro. Relax.
I had to make myself crawl across the bed.
Thank you for the likes, guys.
My life, as the journey from one end of a full-size mattress to the other, felt so long. I covered the distance in inches, creeping along like a marching ant over the long stem of a quivering leaf. With every tug, my back screamed, but I had no choice. My arms did the lion's share of the work getting me across. And when I finally reached the side that was closer to
Let's see what we got. Hey, what's up, Gustavo? I heard you slay. Is that true?
Streaming down the sides of my face.
And name something a pirate needs. Sword.
I shredded every breath through my teeth. A glob of
Hook.
from the cavity of my nose and smeared over my upper lip.
Ship.
As the concentrated effort of staying upright expelled every fluid possible from my body.
Crew.
I was finally able to set my foot down on the other side, and it was like stepping on hot coals.
Damn, I'm too good for you, bro. Goku's going down.
Set the other foot down. Once both heels were on the ground, the pain was not quite as
Bro
bad.
sucked. I'm the
It
best.
still pulsed.
Look at him crying. Well, baby Goku.
It was as if something was nestled.
We're gonna burn this fool.
Trying to pry its way free. I grabbed the dresser in front of me and finally managed to straighten with more.
What happened with you, Jesus? I don't know what you're talking about.
Being squeezed empty over a sink.
I love Jesus.
My stomach roiled with nausea, but I finally stood up straight. I spent half a second swaying on my feet.
I don't know what that punishment is. The guy's getting wet.
Tumbling. As soon as I was upright, everything that I had been holding in for however many hours I had been bedridden went straight to my bladder. It was a new pain signal, although it was one that I recognized. I shuffled one foot in front of the other, heading for the bathroom.
Thank you. Love you too, Tamara. Keep it up.
My vision was gray at the very edges, but I kept going. My legs.
I don't even know what's going on here.
My knees were hot and swollen and stiff, but I could not stop. I set eyes eyes on the porcelain bowl, but I did not have a chance to even try and sit down. Everything came gushing out at once. Hot, dark piss that soaked through the front of my bedpants and trickled down my leg. When I looked in the mirror, I saw that it was the color of rust. New panic gripped my lungs and made it almost impossible to breathe. Am I bleeding? I shoved my pants down my hips
Banned.
and fall to the floor, dragging my boxers with them.
Oh, sure. What else did I get?
Were streaked with watery pink rivulets of shame. I leaned over to grab some toilet paper, forgetting, in my panic, that I was near.
I'm not sure what the last one would be.
The pain stabbed me again in the side, and I cried.
Acting. This guy can't act. Only I can act.
Sound just ripped its way out.
Let's claim my reward.
I hit my head on the toilet. It made a sound like a walnut being split. The world went from gray to black, and I don't know how long I was like that. When I woke up, there was more blood. It stuck to the side of my face, and adhered my cheek and temple to the bathroom tile. A groan rattled its way up my throat as I peeled my head back.
Bro, I beat you, dog. This guy thinks he's good.
Parasite being ripped away from my skin.
This guy's pretty good, actually, compared to some of the other guys I played.
I felt my head for the wound.
Okay, let's see what the last thing is. Triple points. Aim a gift great for children if you don't live with them. Drums.
I needed to call someone. I didn't even know what time it was. My phone was plugged into its charger on the other side of the bed.
Radio?
The one that I had crawled away from, thinking that I could accomplish something. I just
a
wanted
bat.
to be back in that old, warm spot underneath a pile of blankets. I did not care if I ever moved again. I just wanted some relief. Maybe the rogue spring would pierce through the padding, stab me in the pancreas, and kill me. That would have been preferable. I managed to roll over onto my back, and then onto the side where I wasn't bleeding from my head.
Well, I guess I won. I don't know what the last thing was. Closed? Why would that be a bad place? Oh well. He sucks, bro. I win.
That stands across from my shower.
You know what I mean?
I never liked
Look at
that
that.
it was there.
I'm the
But I was not
champion of
responsible
this
for
stupid
the
game.
design. I am not an architect. The sight of my own face startled me enough to yell.
Let's get this guy on the buzzer. What's he getting? Oh, he's getting the 1 ton.
There were dark circles under my eyes.
I am the best.
My lips were dry and torn apart.
Look at
from
this.
where I'd been peeling
I'm
back
already
the skin
in
with my teeth.
level 8.
There was blood on
This
my
guy
teeth,
doesn't even have
on
a
my
skin.
chin,
What a noob.
and white flakes of snot on my upper
Okay,
lip
let's see.
and pushed into the corners of my mouth. My nose looked red and dry, and all my blonde curls were the color of groundwater and absolutely caked with blood. The sight of myself laying on the floor, naked, covered in piss and slime, was enough to make my teeth start chattering. I swallowed hard and just laid there for a minute, staring at myself, wondering.
Man, this guy's gonna beat me. I don't know what else he can yell at work.
And as I lay there, completely immobile while confronting my own mortality, the walls turned yellow and then red. The sun was setting outside of the little half-circle window above my shower, and soon the room would be cast into complete
Damn it.
darkness.
Bartender?
I had to get to my phone.
Sports.
I had to call for help.
I
This
think
point, I needed an
I got
ambulance.
ripped off on that one. Am I gonna lose? I've never lose this stupid game. Is this game getting harder?
I was tired of looking at my own chattering teeth and dry, leaking mouth. When I opened them up again, my lids scraped like sandpaper, and more tears eked out of the corners of my eyes. I sniffled and hawked, but nothing came up, and everything around me was completely black. I shifted. I tried to push myself up onto my elbow, but the pain was worse than before. I could not even raise a knee without waves of agony knocking into my ribs. My entire body was being consumed by the hurt. I cried out again. My body trembled violently and my feet spasmed. I tried to lay as still as I could, but I felt my own snot leaking down the back of my throat, and it made me cough. The cough racked my entire body, and the pain was
What was the
so
last thing?
intense that I
Family? Oh my god, I'm getting my butt kicked.
caught my attention.
Alright, I'm still in this game.
Was in the mirror. had
I
not
gotta,
seen things.
I gotta be on top right now. Let's see.
A pair of purple eyes,
I might
as
lose. I've
strong
never
as
lost
vivid
this game.
lights and as bright as black lights, drifting through the endless, inky space that surrounded me. I spent a moment paralyzed, watching them drift up and down, bobbing back and forth, but never too far away from their original place. Those eyes looked up at me again, and for half a second, I expected them to blink out of existence. Like anything else you catch out of the corner of your eye, especially when you are delirious, I thought they might just slip away. They did not leave. They did not even blink. They stayed fixed in place, hovering for a moment longer before the darkness around them split apart again. This time,
Oh no, this
the
guy's
eyes
gonna
were
win.
joined by two wide rows of shiny, jagged white teeth. The teeth filled the
Uh-oh, I might have won this. I might have won it. I might have won it. Dude, I said fries. You gotta be kidding me. If I lose, I'm gonna... Let's see.
I cried out again.
Oh man, I lost?
A little from the sudden shock, and that just made the original ache worse. A dozen half-formed words sprang to my mouth, and
I was eliminated, bro. Bro, I've never lost. That was so close.
As quiet as I could, despite my
Yeah, let's see what's going on. Search for an opponent.
It watched me, unblinking,
Isabel.
and still as I writhed on the floor. It waited until I had finished, and then the smile got a little wider. Something pricked the nape of my neck, like a needle or a knife. Even in the mirror, I could not see. The hard, mean pain dragged its way down until it rested against the small of my back. And there it stopped. The eyes and the teeth vanished all at once. Meanwhile, something warm trickled down my back.
I think this is getting
colder than ice blocks. I could not crawl. I could not move. I could barely see myself in the mirror. But I did not dare close my eyes either. I did not want to be asleep if that thing came to visit me again. It could not have been a hallucination. It had to be something else. No creation of the
touche, bro. Hey, what's up, Jens? Janice, how are you?
I felt like they were going to shrivel up.
How did I... Dude, I'm losing. Before I got on here, I was winning. I don't know what you guys are doing to me.
My throat was dry.
Spoon.
My stomach hurt almost as much as my back. I cannot remember the last time I had swallowed anything that wasn't my own food.
You gotta say knife first.
Dawn eventually came. A warm spread of gold that heated up the bathroom tile. At first, I was grateful for the heat. But then I began to sweat again. The morning brought new colors to my attention.
Toothpick.
Dark, purple pools.
Yes, I won.
Blackberry syrup.
I am the best. Bro stole fork from me.
While some of the bottles were too deep to solidify.
This guy's a good challenge.
My skin was blue. Webs of gray veins.
Let's see what's going on.
Around my throat and crawling over my face and skull like rot. The horror that I felt so deeply was not even registering on my face. I could only keep staring at my own reflection, wasting away in pain. Urine and the copper smell of blood made a potent bouquet. It was all I could smell, alongside waste. Which, if I had shit myself at that point, I would not be surprised. But I had not felt it either. Sunset came again. It was dark red, the color of death. It filled the bathroom and I watched it sink lower and lower in the mirror's reflection. Every time I blinked,
Jesus?
my eyes felt like they were going to pop.
How is that not an answer? Come on.
That motion was coming slower and slower.
Kids? Okay. I think Jesus would have been a good answer. I don't know. I would get Jesus' name on my tattoo, bro. I don't know what this guy's.
But when the darkness fell, at least I could no longer see my own mottled, distorted face. Darkness was there for a while.
Nobody this guy burns. Oh, you got the stupidest one.
They hovered behind me again, too bright to look at directly, and that evil smile followed. I don't really know how to describe it, except that it made me feel cold.
Okay.
It scratched at my back again. It felt like claws this time. There was a burning pain along the incision line that had been made the night before. and a finger as hard and cold as lead prodded it. My flesh parted with a wet, sucking sound, and the pain went in waves up and down my back. I wondered when I would become numb to it, when the all-consuming, constant agony would become so completely normal that it barely fazed me at all. Of course, there had been just enough relief that the pain felt fresh. I whimpered again. I could not have uttered a forsaken word if I tried. Another finger joined the first.
Bro sucks. Teddy bear.
It was as if my back was being ripped apart.
I'm killing it, bro.
All I could do was lie there and endure it. My vision fuzzed. I hoped that I would pass out.
Let's see what's the last one say.
Again, trying to push out more of a cry, but it all just came out weak and simpering in my dry, feeble throat. My tongue was beyond useless. It was like having a mouth full of cotton. And whenever I parted my lips, the only thing that came out was dirty brown fluid like runoff. It drained from the corner of my mouth like sewage.
Glass, got it.
A hole in the ground. The color coming out of my nose looked more like pus, yellow and infected. The purple light coming from the creature's eyes made it glow. My whole body jerked. I watched the teeth part with a tongue redder than a cherry and longer than a python slithered out. Something wet and flabby dropped onto its center, and then got sucked back into the gaping mouth that had formed in the void.
Oh man, that one, what? He beat me. Jumping. Okay, no jumping in the pool. I guess I didn't get that question very well. I think that's what the problem is.
Long strips of my skin peeled up from around my shoulders and ribs before vanishing behind those teeth like knives. And the strange thing was, I could not feel that. I could see it. I could hear it. But the pain was buried. It could have been hours or minutes. Time was lost on the bathroom floor. At one point, I caught sight of what looked like dark, clawed fingers skittering over my ribs. They were gone in a flash. I whimpered again. The sound came up like a bird and puffed out my cheeks. It made my lower back ache, but it still did not exit my mouth. At this point, I do not think that I have blinked in over 6 hours.
I won. I'm better than you guys. Jazz, okay. I said line dance. I'm pretty sure that's step dance. Those guys suck.
Dotted across my temples and chin. I looked like a bruised, molding plum. My eyes are yellow, and they've got brown spots.
Get rid of this loser. I wonder if I'm gonna beat all the levels. Make sure you like it if you're in here, bro.
So I have a limited view of the rest of my body.
Alright, we got 8 more left. Let's see if we can beat it.
I can still smell shit and piss and blood, even though I don't remember the last time I was able to take a deep breath. There was only watching and waiting. The blood underneath me has dried, and I feel like I am glued down to the tile. Like if I tried to roll over, it would rip off my skin. Or what is left of it. There was a knock on my door earlier. I don't know who it was, and I tried to scream for help. Nothing came out. Not even a moan. I didn't feel the sound, only my urgency, and the desire to push sound up my throat. I could not even manage a sharp exhale. My chest would not expand. If my muscles were not so weak, I would have choked on my own desperation. It all comes sliding out. Every fluid, every strangled cry, every last bit of hope. It's all in a puddle under my face and head. Thick like sludge. It piles up like drizzling molasses.
America.
I think I am dead.
Was I gonna get that right?
But I cannot be dead.
Food, come on. Nobody got that? Okay.
It radiates up and down my back, throbbing.
If it said party, I would have said food. Come on. Parade.
And when I see the
Name somebody people do once a week.
Its claws will dig out more pieces of me, and there is nothing I can do to stop it. I wonder if its movements are calculated, or if it is simply a slow eater. I can only hope that it is not overly intelligent, and that my suffering is just an unfortunate byproduct, rather than a malicious infliction. All I want is for it to tug the wrong organ, the right organ, and rip it out through my back. Take my spine with it, wrapped in a cluster of frayed, pulsing nerves. I really just want to sleep. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy these stories, be sure to subscribe to the podcast.
I sleep once a week. Man, I'm so good. Look at this. I'm killing this, bro. Bro's not even gonna win.
You! The man named Jace said in his high voice. Go! He pointed his pistol from me to the open trapdoor in the barn floor. A man named Cade stood by the dark hole in the floor, staring at me, bloody hatchet in one hand. Like Jace, this man wore jeans and a simple plaid shirt. I looked at the other captive, a young woman wearing an old-fashioned waitress uniform. She looked back at me, mascara running down her cheeks. What about her? I asked. Cade came racing over from beside the hole in the floor. He reversed the hatchet, hitting me in the stomach with the handle. I doubled over and fell to my knees. He kicked me in the ribs. I sprawled on my back, helpless and groaning in pain.
He beat me. What was the last thing? Dude, I said peanut butter. I didn't spell it right. Damn it.
He licked the side of her face from her chin to her forehead as she whimpered and cried. And he stared down at me the whole time.
That was totally correct.
Before my brother kills you, Jay said. We really only need one hostage to trade for Mono, so don't press your luck. I started to get to my feet, but Cade moved forward, dragging the woman along by her hair, while kicking me.
We got 2 more rounds. I'm gonna win.
Jay said, speaking for his brother.
I wonder if these are real people. I'm not even sure. Some of them are smarter than others.
There were no stairs, no ladder that I could see. Looking back over my shoulder, I saw Cade dragging the flat of the hatchet over the young woman's breasts and toward her crotch. You motherfucker! I screamed, lunging toward the man. As I closed the distance, Cade tossed the woman aside and smiled at me. I'm going to punch in the address, Shane said, reaching toward his phone, which sat dark in the holder to the right of the steering wheel. Not yet, I said, reaching over from the passenger seat to grab his hand. Just a little farther, please. Ever since I'd been assaulted, Shane had been handling me with kid gloves. Most of the time, it pissed me off. But sometimes, I'm ashamed to admit.
Bathroom. Good one. Alright. I will agree with bathroom. Come on. That was pretty good.
I stayed out on these country roads for a little while longer. The sense of movement calmed my overactive mind, helping me truly relax for the first time in months. It's almost 10 o'clock, Shane said. How much longer do you want to drive around out here? Half an hour tops. I looked at Shane, whose face was lit by the dashboard lights. I knew he would agree even before he did. Fine, he said, half smiling. Half an hour. It had been my idea to move out of the city, but the catalyst hadn't just been the assault. I'd been wanting to live in the country for many years. The attack and the subsequent months of rehab had only solidified the notion in my mind. Shane and I had been together for 3 years, and I knew he loved
I have no idea why I said Chicago.
but I also knew he loved
Paris?
me more.
Who the
At first,
freak would want to go
I'd been
there?
resistant to the idea,
That made no sense.
but when my
Alright.
mood stayed
Well, that
down
guy
for
almost
months
beat
after I
me.
was able to walk without a limp again, he knew we had to make a change. For my
Let's
sake.
see what this last one's
I
gonna
was
be.
glad for it. I'd been getting to the point where I was ready to leave the city, with or without Shane. Of course, I wanted him to come, but I was in such a deep, dark hole that I knew I had to get out. So we made the arrangements with our respective employers to work remotely and found a little house outside of a town called Brightside. Things were good for the first week as we got settled in. Our house was on a large lot, surrounded by fields belonging to the family who was renting us the place. The nearest house belonged to that family, a quarter mile down the road. But after the first week went by, I was reminded of that old saying, wherever you go, there you are. Surprise, surprise, moving hadn't magically cured my mental state. It seemed to
Chewie?
have helped incrementally, but there was still
Yoda,
a powerful
okay.
darkness inside of me. I still suffered from panic
I think that's a
attacks
little
and
weak.
anxiety.
That was a weak.
Despite the
That
medication I
was a
was
week,
taking
bro.
and the cognitive behavioral therapy I was doing with a therapist online. But as Shane drove on the dark country road, I tried to pull all that behind me, to be in the moment. I sank down in my seat and looked out the window. Rows of yellowing corn swayed in the breeze, leaves pale in the bright moonlight. The cornfield ended at a swath of trees, then we passed an empty field, the crops having already been harvested. I had no idea where we were in relation to Brightside. We started off driving in the late afternoon, taking random turns, and seeing where we ended up. There was something peaceful about the open spaces and the seldom seen people. Sure, there were houses here and there, and we shared the roads with vehicles on occasion, but there was still the sense that we were alone. I couldn't get enough of that feeling. Alone and on the move. It was as close to freedom as I could get. Looks like there's a town up here.
Damn, I killed him. This guy's a finalist?
12 miles. I sighed.
Let's go, bro.
Yeah. How we doing on gas?
I'm just killing it. Claiming the reward.
A snack too. I agreed. I was getting hungry. We decided to stop in Chilton, get some gas and some snacks, and then head back home with the help of GPS. But a few miles later, we came upon a diner on the side of the road. The lights were on, and a couple of cars were parked outside, one of which was a sheriff's cruiser. Let's stop and eat, I said, liking the look of the place. It looked to be straight out of the 50s, with the whole boxcar aesthetic and the neon sign over the door that read Tommy's.
Bro's weak sauce.
Yeah, okay, Shane said. If they're still serving, they might be closing up. Worth a shot. Shane directed the car into the dirt parking lot and stopped nose in next to the sheriff's cruiser. On the other side of the lot were two more vehicles. One was a beat-up extended cab truck, the other an old Ford Bronco. The shades were drawn over the diner windows, but I could see movement inside through the cracks around the shades. We got our phones and wallets and stepped out into the warm autumn night. As we moved to the door, I heard a scuffing sound from the side of the building. Looking over, I saw a young man dressed in dirty, ill-fitting clothes step around the corner of the building. He was zipping up his fly, apparently having just relieved himself. He froze as he saw us. His sandy hair was disheveled, his cheeks peppered unevenly with scruff. Shane didn't see him, stepping forward to open the outer door for me. Not thinking much of it, I looked forward and continued walking. But
Easy one. I should have said bun. That was a good. That was good. I was gonna say meat.
Something that gave
This guy sucked anyways.
I moved into the diner's waiting area, which had a padded bench on either side. Glancing through the second door before I opened it for Shane, I caught a glimpse of a man in a black apron standing behind the counter, staring toward the door. It took me too long to realize the look on his face was one of sheer terror. Shane stepped through the second door and into the main area of the diner. Hey there, he said to the man in the apron as I stepped in behind him, letting the door fall closed. Shane and I glanced.
See, I wonder if these are real people or if we're just doing whatever.
Splashed on the tile floor, across the stools at the counter, and on the counter itself. Most of the blood was on the floor between the counter and the line of booths against the front windows. A man in a sheriff's uniform was lying face up on one of the booth tables. A hatchet was embedded in his ruined face, and his chest had been hacked up with the weapon. A man stood next to the body, the skin around his mouth smeared with blood. He had dirty blonde hair and a pronounced brow with deep and wide-set eyes, which were fixed on us. Further back from this man stood another, with a shotgun in his hands. He had the weapon pointed at the cook behind the counter. The man was older than the other, with a full light-colored beard, but similar eyes.
Bro got smoked. Bro's cooked. Bro is cooked, bro. Okay.
Sat on a stool directly across.
Bro doesn't even know. I don't even know what's going on. This game is funny.
But her place there allowed the man with the shotgun to cover both her and
Let's see number 2. I'm gonna go to bed probably
I
after
took all this in quickly. No one spoke. We all just looked at each other for what seemed like a full minute, but was really just seconds. I reached out and grabbed Shane's shirt, pulling him back toward the door. Don't move, the man with the shotgun shouted as we moved into the waiting area. I pushed the outer door open to greet the barrel of a pistol, held by the young man I'd seen outside.
Get back in there.
The man said, although he wasn't a man.
Dang, I
he was
smoked him
teenage.
again.
So
Round
clearly
2
to me, I
smoked.
now saw in the better light from the diner's interior.
Come on, work out and lose weight is two different things. Work out and food and lose weight. This guy's cheap,
The bearded
man.
man glared at the teenager as the three of us moved inside.
I would never
It
got
was
that.
plain to see that the kid's job had been to keep anyone from coming inside.
Okay, it's time for triple points.
After a moment of glaring at the kid, the bearded man gestured with his head to the booth nearest us.
Sit down.
The kid said, pointing to a booth 2 down from the one with the dead sheriff. Shane and I sat down across from each other. The initial unreal shock of the situation was wearing off. My vision was swimming, my breath going rapid, my heart skipping beats as I slipped into the swirling despair of a panic attack.
Hands on the table.
The kid said.
Flat on the table.
I got my hands flat on the table and stared.
Damn, you got cooked, bro. Bro's cooked. Bro's cooked in the chat. Who says mushrooms, bro? That wasn't even a name.
He's having a panic attack, Shane yelled back. Can't you see that? Over Shane's shoulder, I watched as the blood-smeared man reached over and yanked the hatchet out of the sheriff's face. He stalked over and shoved the kid out of the way and slammed the hatchet down onto Shane's right wrist, severing the hand. Shane's mouth fell open as he looked down at the injury. Blood pumped out of his wrist.
Damn, I'm looking hot. Look at that.
I was frozen in place, unable to do anything. I felt like I was dying, but at the same time, I felt dissociated from my body, like I was watching the whole thing through someone else's eyes. Shane lifted his right arm, gripping it with his left hand as he screamed and turned toward his attacker. The man raised the hatchet and slammed it into Shane's head, cutting off my boyfriend's scream with the sickening impact. Shane turned his head toward me, hatchet still embedded in his skull. A scream escaped me as Shane looked into my eyes.
Cooked, bro. You got cooked.
Dripping down his face. The young woman seated at the counter screamed. There was quick movement from behind her.
It's like Family Feud or something, bro.
The man with the shotgun fired, and the blast took the cook's head off before the man had even made it 2 steps toward whatever unknowable goal he had in mind. My scream fell away as the hatchet man stepped over and backhanded the young woman.
Hey, what's
Bounced
up?
off the counter, and then she slid off her seat to the floor. The killer yanked the hatchet out of Shane's head and then turned to me, raising it over his head.
No, Cade.
I think this guy's faster.
Leave them to trade for Mama. Keep the 2 alive. Get him in the truck.
The blood-stained man's eyes drilled into me as I looked up at him. A drop of Shane's blood fell from the hatchet and landed on the back of my right hand, which was still flat on the table. My left hand was wet with the blood that had poured from Shane's wrist. Cade lowered the weapon.
Did it.
And then yanked me out of the
Bro's
booth with
cooked.
one powerful arm.
Thank you for being a
He fumbled
fan.
in my pockets and took my phone and my wallet. The bearded man spat on the dead sheriff before stalking forward and grabbing the unconscious young woman by the collar of her work uniform. He dragged her outside with the kid following.
Use summer
Then
activities.
Cade shoved me out the door after them. They tossed the young woman into the back of the truck and then forced me to climb in and lie down next to her, my head touching a gas canister strapped into the corner. The kid and Cade got in with us, sitting on either side of the truck bed, while the bearded man, their father, I was guessing, got into the driver's seat and started the engine. I no longer felt like I was dying as we drove along the road, heading toward the town of Chilton. I felt like I was already dead, like I had somehow died, but was still able to see
I don't know.
with my eyes, even though my
What else
body's
do you
vital
do in the
functions
summer?
had stopped. The truck turned off the paved road and onto a dirt one.
I don't know.
Old struts as it sped
Playing?
across the poorly maintained road. I stared up from the truck bed.
I think bro
Trees
sucks.
passed under the stars.
He's
The
still
moon
lost.
beams down,
Bro
almost
was
full.
cooked.
I closed my eyes, knowing I wasn't really dead.
What's up, Tiff?
I was.
Big G over
I wasn't so
here.
likely to be dead, so I wouldn't have to put up with the shame of cowardice. So I wouldn't have to deal with the fear and the pain and the uncertainty. I figured I would get my wish soon enough.
Alright, we got 2 more
Came
rounds.
to me as the truck slowed and then stopped.
Uh-oh.
The engine noise
I gotta
the
beat
driver
John
kicked
Wick?
the
This is
ignition
impossible,
and
bro.
opened his door.
I don't think I'm gonna do it.
Help your brother take care of these 2, the man said. The younger man, Jace, nodded.
Yes, Daddy.
He said in a high voice. The young woman was awake now and sobbing softly as they forced us out of the truck bed at gunpoint. I saw her name tag underneath. Her name was Reese.
Into the barn.
Reed. Okay, we got it.
I still hadn't heard Cade speak. Maybe he didn't or couldn't.
Bro failed
But
his
his
art
expression said it all.
history
He was itching to kill us,
of
just like
science.
he'd killed Shane and that policeman back in the diner. He still carried the hatchet, the blood drying.
Bro's cooked.
I glanced
Hey, what's up,
around,
Tiff?
seeing that we were
What's
on
up,
something
Tiffy?
farm.
How are you?
There was a one-story farmhouse, a small
Dude, I got
wooden
90
sidewalk
points. I
before it.
killed it.
All three structures looked run down and sun-faded, but still a good way from falling apart. Cade opened the barn door while Jake
I'm gonna get
scanned us
it.
with his
Bro's
laser.
cooked. Bro's cooked,
The
chat.
four of us walked
Bro's
inside.
cooked.
Cade shut the door behind us and flipped on a dim light bulb above the doorway. There were 2 mules in stalls on the right, and a horse in one stall on the left. They looked at us with mild interest as we entered.
Stay there.
Jay said, pointing us to the front right corner of the barn.
I
Cade
don't
stalked
know.
to the back of the space and moved several bales of hay, uncovering a trap door in the floor.
What kind of flavors are there?
Revealing a black maw.
Okay, you're just saying berries now?
Pointing at me with a gun.
Go.
I looked at Reese, remembering how I'd been unable to move my hands from the table even after Shane's
Sprinkles,
right hand.
bro.
The young woman looked back at me, mascara
Aw,
running down
come
her cheeks.
on. What did he get?
What about her?
What was the last
I
one?
asked. Cade came racing over from the hole in the floor.
Glazed vanilla.
reversing the
Oh, you
hatchet
got
and
vanilla.
hitting me in the
That
stomach
was a
with
bad
hammer.
one, bro.
I doubled over
Come
and
on.
fell to my knees.
That one
She
sucked.
kicked me in the
What's up,
ribs.
Tiff
I
World?
sprawled on my back, helpless and groaning in pain.
Dude, I better not get eliminated. That was weak sauce.
Face to his.
Okay, let's
He
see.
licked the side of her face from her chin to her forehead as she whimpered and cried. And he stared down at me the whole time.
Get in the fucking hole before my brother kills you.
What can I charge?
We really only need one hostage to trade for Mama, so don't press your luck.
I started to get to my feet. but Kate
Battery. Okay, what else can I charge?
dragging Reese along by her hair.
Bike?
Kicking me again.
Crawl.
Jay said. speaking
Car?
to his brother. I crawled to the open trap door and looked down into the dark hole. I couldn't see the bottom, and there were no stairs, no ladder that I could see. Looking back over my shoulder, I saw Cade dragging the flat of the hatchet down Reese's breasts and toward her crotch.
Laptop.
I screamed, thinking
No.
more about Shane than Reese in that moment. I jumped to my feet and raced toward Cade, who shoved Reese
I killed it, bro.
before turning to face me. A smile came onto his face.
I think there's
as I
one more
crossed
game.
the distance.
That was a close one, though.
He easily blocked my roundhouse
Bro's
right
pretty good.
and kicked me between the legs. A spike of pain shot into my stomach, then another one through my chest as he hit me in the sternum with the hatchet handle. Cade shoved me onto my back and knelt on my chest. He worked quickly, stretching my right ear out with one hand and then swinging the hatchet down with the other. I felt the blade separate skin and cartilage as that side of my head turned into a wall of pain. He made quick work of it and
Gross
brought my
out.
severed ear up, showing it to me.
We'll do.
Then he
I think this is the last round, guys, and then I'm going to bed.
Orgasmic delight on his face. I screamed, bringing my right hand up to
Let's see if I'm the champion.
where my right ear had been. Cade backhanded me and then flipped me over. He grabbed my belt and dragged me toward the hole, tossing me in without a moment.
Destiny, come on.
I flipped as I fell, landing on my back. The impact knocked the breath out of me. As the door shut,
Come on.
robbing me of what little light there had been. I tried to pull a breath in, but was unable. Through the cracks in the ceiling, I could tell that Cade was moving the hay bales back
Pray.
to the trap door. Finally, I managed to pull a breath in, gulping the air down desperately. Staring up at the darkness above, I fell into a kind of trance state. My body radiated pain. My right ear, or ear canal, as that was the only thing left, roared like a waterfall. Blood traveled down from the wound and soaked my hair. I felt a pure and righteous anger brought on by that pain. It opened inside me slowly.
I wonder what the last one was.
trickling into me,
Eat.
changing
Oh, that's a good
me
one.
mentally.
I do
All
that.
the fear and the emotional pain and uncertainty I'd been feeling ever since being attacked on my way home a year earlier now had competition. At first,
Okay, I got a little
Shane
bit.
had been
Let's see
killed
where
so
else we're gonna go.
violently and brutally. Those emotions had simply been magnified tenfold.
Hi, how are you?
Overwhelmed me, sending
Okay.
me into a catatonic state. But as I lay in the darkness, the anger I was feeling seemed to grow more powerful. And I realized with something like clarity that I'd never felt angry after those men had attacked me, breaking my leg and fracturing my skull in a homophobic attack. I'd felt despair and dejection and denial. I'd even felt guilty. It was absurd, feeling guilty for being who I was. But I never felt anger toward those men. Not until I lay in the darkness, pain feeding me, nourishing that anger, that rage. It had all come together later when I replayed the moments before leaving the bar that night. Shane and I had been together, hanging out with his co-workers. I had left her.
There's no polar bears at the North Pole, bro.
I had kissed Shane goodnight just before
this game cheats.
Apparently, the three men
apparently,
in the bar, and they hadn't liked what they'd seen. They followed me out and attacked me as I cooked.
I think I'm gonna win right now, and then I need to sleep.
I didn't put up a fight as they closed in. The only thing I did was plead with them before their blows rained down on me. I pleaded with them as they dragged me over to a large stone. They propped my leg up on the stone, and then one of them stomped on it, breaking the limb. After that, all I could do was scream. They might have killed me if someone hadn't seen the attack and called the police. Of course, they were caught and charged with a hate crime. But through the whole thing, I hadn't felt anger. And I should have. I should have been pissed off.
Dragon?
I wanted revenge. Well, now I did.
No. What'd that guy get?
More than a deep hole in the ground under the bar.
Lion's not that big, bro.
My eyes had adjusted to the darkness, so I could see the dirt sides of the hole. It looked like
capybaras are big.
Machine, given the marks on the walls. But I could also
Alright, well, I think I'm done. I think I just beat the mission. Let's get one more skin, and we'll go from there, and then I'll probably get off.
It had been created during a heavy rain, or maybe several heavy rains. The water had flowed under the barn and washed some of the dirt into the pit. And while the
Is that a skull cap? That's cool.
for me to fit through, I thought it could be with a little work, if the ground was soft enough for me to dig by hand. After carving out a few small depressions to use as footholds in the wall below the divot, I climbed up and got to work, holding on with